Today kicks off our second week of the course. Last week, we began by studying the general characteristics of living organisms. And then once we had covered that, we focused on the process of evolution and what that process actually was. Following that, we looked at some of the mechanisms that are involved in evolution. So evolution is really when a population is changing from one generation to the next. And this week, we're going to look at that more carefully. And we're going to investigate how do we actually tell if a population is changing from one generation to the next. So in other words, are the allele frequencies, the genetic makeup, is that changing in that population? So there are some mathematical equations that we can use to investigate this. We're going to look at the Hardy-Weinberg theorem this week, which will help us to actually mathematically tell if a population is changing from one generation to the next. And then we're also going to look at just what defines something as being a species. So what makes up a species? To finish this week up, the assignments that you have due this week is one discussion board, and then you also have quiz 3 that's going to be due. And those two, the discussion board and also quiz 3, those are going to be due Sunday night. And then one other thing that I want to remind you of is that throughout Module 1, we have an open discussion board. And that open discussion board will be due when we finish up Module 1 at the end of week 3. But that discussion board is really to discuss anything that you can think of that you're interested of that applies to Module 1. So feel free to ask questions on there. Definitely respond to the posts that other students are making. And you're required to have 5 posts in there throughout Module 1. So I encourage you, if you haven't already, go ahead and jump in there and make some posts, and let's get some discussion going on some topics that apply to just evolution in general or other things that are buried in Module 1.